the Latin American corridor, fortifying their bases while we're still hollering that we're the greatest.
You talking about China, like in the Panama Canal?
Not just the Panama Canal. Let's pivot from the Panama Canal and let's look at the long-term strategy they have now, where they just signed an agreement with Mexico to build another canal bypassing the Panama Canal. And when you look at the whole transatlantic corridor, where you've got now Brazil and Canada as well as Mexico trading, and they're stopping in Peru, where China has a huge presence at, circumventing completely the navigation and the use that comes with having to use the Panama Canal. So we'll avoid conflict with America and just simply go around America, because what's happening here.
Talking about China?
Wait, so did he say China's trying to build a canal to rival the Panama Canal? Is that what he said?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I mean, I want to agree with the first part, autocratic. I think China needs to be dealt with, and this is the first time we are. I'm Canadian. Well, I was raised in Canada.
Might be the first time I'm hearing about that.
Canada sucks. Canada is a dog shit country. Canada, the kind of shit we're doing, you can't do this in Canada. If you say something too
Unless I
offensive,
misheard him.
too offensive, you will be jailed in Canada. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. So I'm fine with the U.S. being the best country. I came here from Canada because, I mean, I have friends who were arrested. I had a friend, stand-up comic, was fined for telling a joke. I don't think people realize how good we have it here in this country compared to other countries.
But that's the painstaking part about it all, is the fact that, you know, I've always been one to say, and I believe this firmly, freedom is not a right. It's a privilege until you wake up the next morning and find out you don't have it anymore.
Yeah. It also comes with duties.
That's what I was
He cooking.
about to say. It also comes with responsibilities, because while we free to speak and say what we want, and I went to Montreal a few months ago, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Bet you saw a lot of tits on signs. That's all it is.
No, I
it's,
didn't.
it's just strip clubs. Our Times Square is a giant strip club.
It was a couple of them.
Yeah.
But no, like there is responsibility, and like everybody's from different places, different backgrounds. Some of us from certain backgrounds know, like, running your mouth too much in a certain space can get your ass whipped.
Yeah.
Like, you're free to say what you want, you're just not free from the consequences. Like, the consequences that come with you saying the wrong thing at the wrong time to the wrong person.
Yeah.
And that's where we all have responsibilities in what we say and when we say it.
Yeah. The problem, though, too, and that's, I was kind of talking more domestically, the problem with that idea is a lot of people are offended by different things. Mm-hmm. And so people get their ass whooped for something they didn't say, right? That's the real thing. I don't know if you guys are following the...
Well, I mean, you know, maybe that's the price of freedom. You ever think of that, Steven?
stabbing there in that train in Charlotte, Irina Zarutska. Last time I was asking where you guys thought we were, you know, as far as in the country relation. Like, have you guys heard of the term black fatigue? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You guys know what that means?
Since the last time you came, that become a thing.
Oh,
yeah, that's just become a recent thing.
And do you know what it means?
I'm not sure.
It's a term that's being used by people in the white community, by and large, again, saying they
Here it comes.
feel like they've been victimized, and they're tired of taking that shit. You know, that was a girl who was dying alone in public, and that was a guy who was let out 14 times. 14 times, including violent crimes, in the name of racial justice, right? He didn't have to post bail. He didn't.
Did they say it was in the name of racial justice? Or the prison's like overcrowded? Like, do you have another reason? What up, Alchemist? Oh yeah, do that.
He didn't have to appear back in court. This is not the first time he's assaulted
How do
someone.
we know that was in the interest of racial justice as opposed to just being a
Because the judge said it.
a fucked up attempt at justice?
Like
period.
Yeah.
Like the legal system has its
So he's talking about the Ukrainian girl, right? He's saying the judge actually said it. I want to confirm if that's true. But to be honest with you,
flaws.
I don't know if I feel like typing in her
People
name.
make complaints about that for decades, right? But that's just to me that's a mental health thing more than it's a black and white thing.
Well, I'll tell you why, because white people are saying it now.
Right.
Not just, white people are saying, hey, we're in
makes it a bigger thing.
But let's just entertain the idea that the judge did say it.
Well, because, you know, white people are 12 times as likely to be killed by a black person the other way around. I'm just going to shoot you straight. It's not even fucking close.
Where?
Across the country.
Where? I like not in
The United States. I mean, we're not talking about Ghana.
And like,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, in white communities or in quote unquote so-called white communities,
Across the country,
All right. So I heard this stat because I was waiting for this. and this is the thing I really wanted to look up. I heard this stat, and I'm like, let's ask the Google demon. What is the likelihood of a white person dying of murder from a black person, like at all? I suck at typing. Based on recent data from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the overall likelihood of a white person being murdered by a black person is low. That does not answer my question. Most white victims were killed by white offenders. Yeah. See, the Google demon is still not answering my question. Like crime is not about race. I didn't ask you that. Look at all this extra information they're giving me. So 81%. So if this is not the stat I wanted, but I don't feel like fighting with the Google demons right now. But it's clear that they're more likely to be killed by a white person. The question is how likely are they to be killed in general? The likelihood that they will be murdered as opposed to dying of like health issues or suicide, which is on the rise. That's the real question. Like, is it really your concern? Because we can already see that it's a vast minority, maybe 20%, right? If you wanted to round up, 20% of all white murders are from a black person. But how likely are you to be killed to begin with? And then how likely, like does this really matter when you have bigger problems? Well, I'm just saying.
The rate is a black man or person, because most murders men. There are very few female murders. 12 times more likely to kill a white person the other way around. And then you look at the average amount of times that someone in this country is arrested before they're brought in for killing. And then you look at the average amount of murders men. There are very few female murders. 12 the rate is a black man or person, because most murders men. There are very few female murders. 12 times more likely to kill a white person the other way around. And then you look at the average amount of times that someone in this country, female murders, 12 times more likely to kill a white person than black.
In white communities or in quote unquote so-called white communities?
Across the country, the rate is a black man or person, because most murders men. There are very few female murders. 12 times more likely to kill a white person the other way around. And then you look at the average amount of times that someone in this country is arrested before they're brought in for killing, charged with murder. Do you know how many times they're arrested on average before they murder? 11 times.
Once again, the justice system's got its flaws, and people have been complaining about that for years. We spend more time.
Yeah, people have been complaining about the issues in the justice system. Like, regardless of, I guess, what you think the issues are, they really haven't been addressed, like on either side.
I'm trying to fix that, then trying to complain about the white versus black of it all.
Well, I think, just like I was trying to listen to all communities last time, I think this is something that's unavoidable. If this community, if enough white people get pissed off, they're going, look, we're living in New York now, we're getting killed in record numbers, or Detroit. 12 times.
We back. Okay. I don't know what just happened. That's been happening more lately. I don't know. Should just be glitching out sometimes. Oh well. Back to this.
In the name of racial justice, like three felonies, you're out.
Because crime is crime, right? But crime is.
See, but like, it's not just racial justice. It's like justice is justice. If something is fucked up, and we know that the policy is being abused. Sometimes you might just have to get rid of the policy.
Usually going to be higher concentrated in areas where there's high poverty. So typically the areas that's high poverty in this country are areas with people with this color skin. So that's why you're going to have, that's why I said those numbers could be skewed and made to manipulate to look like, oh yeah, that's why I said in
Not at 12 times the rate. Not at 12 times the rate.
In suburban neighborhoods, white people are not in danger. And that's what this kind of fear mongering tells them is that you're in danger because you're 12 times more likely to get.
Yeah, I don't think people are in danger in the suburbs. Mostly because I'm in the suburbs. And pretty safe out here. Even being like basically right next to the hood. I ain't gonna lie.
Killed by a black person. You live in ain't nobody coming after you. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody tripping on you. But these people are just as scared as some other folks.
They are if they get on a bus.
Not necessarily.
They are if they get on a train.
That lady wasn't in danger because that man was black. That lady was in danger because that man was crazy.
Nope.
That man was mentally insane.
That is true. He was like nobody just does that. So he's right.
Saying
but why was he back on
family members? He had his own family members call the hospital to try to get him committed. He told his.
Well, he's probably back on the street because your medical system is a failure. He really was dealing with those kind of issues. I mean, y'all don't really have too many ways of dealing with those people. Y'all either throw them in jail, which people don't really want to do anymore because a lot of the jails are overcrowded, or they like end up like homeless or on the street or whatever. Like we don't have like asylums anymore, and most people don't really get checked into a psych ward. So that's what happens.
His sister, he killed that woman because he thought she was trying to read his mind.
Yep. Why was he let out, though? And I'm not saying it's because he's black.
Yeah,
I'm saying people look at it, though. The judge said he's insane, right? We agree.
That's not a black and white issue.
He was deemed not fit to stand trial, right?
Yeah. It's not a black and white issue, is it? He's right.
Now, should have been institutionalized.
Right. The IOU policy, meaning you don't have to pay bail. You don't even have to stay here until you're actually convicted. You just say you'll come back.
Right, which is messed up.
Yeah, the judge, Teresa Stokes, black woman, said, well, this is about racial justice. We need to be softer on crime. So that's her reasoning. That's why.
See, like, he's going to make this claim about a lot of judges, and I don't want to look it up every time he does. But let's assume he's right. Again, justice is justice. Doesn't really even have to be about race. Just if they voice their opinion about a race that they think it is negatively affecting, that's one thing. But, you know, it doesn't mean that it's now racial justice and somehow separate from justice. They believe that a group of people are being wronged.
He was out. And you can find dozens of examples.
That's her misguided reasoning.
And that's policy.
But that's systemic, though, right?
That's not representative of a whole.
Is it misguided reasoning if you think that this is really happening?
It's not. It's not. No, and look, we always have to say not all. Like, not all white people wear MAGA hats and are dumbass pieces of racist shit. But we have all been accused of racism, sexism, misogyny, homophobia. What I'm saying is black fatigue is white people going, you know what? I know I'm not racist. And I know that we're dealing with record crime, and I know that I'm more at risk. And they have negative interactions, and they're constantly told that they're not allowed to voice their fucking opinion because they're white. And if those people get pissed off, like that's where we actually could end up with some kind of, I'm telling you, I see this brewing. I see people who were milquetoast white suburban who are becoming actually racist. Now, not all of them, but I've seen people actually become racist because they get mugged, their store gets looted.
Is that the average black person's fault, though? How are we gonna stop them from becoming racist? I'm not gonna lie. You know, you got like burden of proof and logic and debates. It's like, you know, the burden of proof is on the one who makes the claim. It's like the one who has the problem. You should handle that.
And nothing gets done. And if I say something, it's turned into a racing. I'm telling you what, that's where it's coming from. At what point do we have a talk and go like, okay, let's reform justice, but we have to be honest as to why it was reformed in the first place. This guy, it's not even the only one. It's every 3 days someone's being offed.
Yeah, but at the same time, let's transfer that over to, you know, I mean, there's a lot of unsafe things in this world. Like getting mugged by a black person is not the paramount unsafe thing.
Yeah, it's really not something you really got to worry about. I
school shootings, there's
Sure.
road rage, there's all of that shit.
Yep.
And the primary people that commit a lot
I
of
don't
things are
have,
people who
like,
don't have this skin.
No.
So if switch it over.
What
to
do you
black people,
normally
say,
use
well,
to
we
bring
get fed
guests
up
on?
and we tired of all
Zoom?
these school shootings and all of these road rage and all that. Who do we say something to? Who hears our voice?
And when does the white fatigue?
And when does the white fatigue kick in?
Well, we've been hearing about
Who hears
that's the point, right? We've been hearing about it all our lives, about white fatigue, about systemic discrimination.
nothing's
I'm
ever
Canadian,
been
right?
done. That's the
You
problem.
grew up,
It's
it hasn't
still
been
here.
done. That's why we've done systemic justice reform that has led to more crime, right? That's the reason for no three-strike policy. That's the reason for cashless bail. That's the reason for catch and release. The reason for it, in the wake of Black Lives Matter, George Floyd riots, Summer of Love, was we're going to reform crime, we're going to reform the justice system, and it's gotten worse everywhere it's been. And then when white people leave those neighborhoods, well, now it's white flight. If they come in, it's gentrification. And I'm telling you, there are a lot of people who are pissed off, and they're not going to sit down and have this conversation and be real about it. And they're going,
Well, let's see. Let me see what I can do. Gotta take a break for a second and see if I can get something spun up real quick. I use Streamlab. But you know what was stuck in my head this morning? I had clips stuck in my head this morning. For some reason, I keep forgetting the name of the song, though. Well, there were two. This is one of them.
No confessions, questions, we contesting. Fireworks will send a message, iridescent. Slow them down like Robitussin. If you rush in, at your door and we address them, we gon' bless them. Tried to bring them, shoulda left them. Learn my lesson, poker faces keep them guessing.